We got Justin?
Yeah, we got Justin, but before we bring in Justin, I want to remind everybody that summer sports are in full swing, and whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. You're already following the action, so why not make it a little bit more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned at the beach. I've been using FanDuel to track my favorite matchups, and the app keeps it super fresh with new daily promotions and fun ways to bet. If you're new to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. So open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to get started. Then we are bringing on Locked On Guardians host Justin Lada.
Justin, how you doing, man? Thanks for joining us.
Doing good. Happy to be here. I wish the Guardians, well, they did sweep Houston, but I wish they were playing better when we were talking about it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, they are coming off a fantastic series. I mean, who could have possibly seen them sweep the Astros?
Wild.
After losing 10 in a row, the Astros had been maybe the hottest team in baseball coming into that series. They scored 6 off Hunter Brown. They had Martinez. It's a grand slam off Hader. They pull out that last game in a nail biter there. That series does not fit what they've looked like for most of this season. I
may have said something about it, but
you did.
You did say that.
What do you make of it? Is it just baseball, or was there something you saw that stood out to you this last week?
I want to say there's more to it, but yeah, I think it's just baseball. I mean, it had to reverse at some point too. I mean, who thought they were going to score 6 runs off Hunter Brown? I mean, the grand slam Martinez hit, that's only a home run in Houston, so there is that, and an extra inning game on the road where your bullpen is not fully stocked and not ready to go. That seemed pretty improbable. So yeah, I don't think anybody saw them scoring that amount of runs. I think things just evened out a little bit. Maybe it'll tip in the right direction, but we'll see.
When you look at their schedule, before the trade deadline, they have some pretty favorable matchups. Is there any way that you can look at that and think to yourself, maybe they could potentially not be a fire sale of this team at the deadline?
I mean, I guess it depends on your definition of fire sale. Like, I don't think you're going to have a full fire sale anyway, because I still think this team believes they're going to contend next year. They thought they were going to contend this year. The White Sox are the White Sox. Like, you probably need to take 3 or 4 in there. Then you have the Athletics coming out of the break. And they do actually have, after the All-Star break, a pretty favorable schedule. Like, they have to still face the Rockies. Baltimore's not doing good. Kansas City's struggling this year. So they do have a better schedule coming out of the All-Star break that could help them. I think there's just so many teams right now that are in the middle when it comes to the trade deadline that they're going to decide, 48 or 72 hours before what direction they're going to go in. And that could be the Guardians. You could still see them do a soft start. Like, you could see Carlos Santana maybe get moved. Maybe they'll find a taker for Paul Sewald if they feel like they want to kind of play in the middle a little bit too. I think you could see it both ways. It just depends on who really is going to do the hard selling. And in today's game with the extra wild cards and all the teams in the middle, like, there just aren't going to be a lot of hard sellers that have a ton to sell right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sewald, Bieber, Santana, and Lane Thomas should all be gone. There's no reason to keep any of them. Why would you disagree? Why do you disagree on that?
Well, Shane Bieber hasn't even made a start yet. Like, you're not going to have any time to establish his value. Think about it this way. Like, what would the Guardians get for him if he makes, let's say, 2 starts for the All-Star break? Right. Would you get more for him based on 2 starts, considering he missed all of last year? He missed most of 2021 as well. And you can get the qualifying offer for him in the offseason if you think he pitches well. But the later and later he comes back and makes starts, like, maybe he picks up his option for 2026 and you run it back with him next year. Like, I think the qualifying offer makes more sense to do with him if he only makes 2 starts before the trade deadline.
I just think I don't see any way that he's picking up his option. I mean, if he's good, unless he didn't play the whole season, and then I don't know that you'd want him to pick up his option. But, I mean, if he comes back in late July and pitches well, somebody's going to pay him. I can't imagine.
With 2 starts?
Or for how many starts?
I mean, how many starts is he going to make? Because remember, he hasn't even been on a rehab assignment yet. He hasn't even faced hitters in a real game, and we're almost at the All-Star break.
Right, but Justin,
he still needs 4 starts probably.
Right, but Matthew Boyd got paid off of 8 starts last year, or whatever it was. And Shane Bieber has a much better and longer track record of success than Matthew Boyd does. So I hear what you're saying. I guess it's possible he would pick up the option. I'm just assuming he won't. I can't imagine he will. So to me, I would trade him. But I get what you're saying. It stinks. He's not going to have much trade value. That's true. Do you think there's any chance they're going to trade Clase?
I really don't. I don't see anybody, and not because they won't, like they're not interested in it, but I think we know, based on how the Guardians operate, they set such a high value on their players, and they don't back off that value. So, he's not pitching as good as he did a year ago, so the value may not be there externally, but they still may value him the same way. Do you really feel like there's a team out there who's going to say, we're going to make the offer that makes sense for you to trade him? I don't think there's a team out there right now. Now, this could be a different conversation in the offseason, but let's also remember this is a two-tiered thing. If they trade Clase, you have to put Cade Smith in as your closer. You lose the flexibility with him. Not only that, when he goes into arbitration, because he's not locked up on a team-friendly deal the way Clase is, so Cade Smith's arbitration numbers start to creep up because he's going to get saved. So you lose your controlled piece of stability in the bullpen, and you may not get a great offer. And then you also have to pay Cade Smith, who might not even agree to a contract because he might say, well, I'm going to arbitration with the opportunity to get saves. Why would I agree to a team-friendly deal now at this point? So it's a two-tier approach. And if you really feel like you want to contend next year, losing Clase doesn't help you. And I don't think you're going to get the pieces for him that's going to say, well, this is going to make us a surefire contender in 2026. Go back to the Andrew Miller trade. I was as screaming mad as anybody about trading Clinton Frazier, and I was dead wrong. But look what the Yankees got. The Yankees got nothing out of that trade. And now we're talking about more teams that are muddled in the middle than ever because of the extra wild cards. I don't think that offer exists. I really don't.
Well, Justin, I look at it, and it seems like the conversation around the Guardians is always in that middle area where it's like we have these prospects, we want the control of them, but then we don't really pay them, because they don't want to go to arbitration. They're trying to avoid that. And you don't get an opportunity to see some of the younger players. A couple of weeks ago, it was like, hey, where's DeLarder at? Where's some of these guys Kafis? Where's the guys that can move the needle a little bit? And I asked Bull, I asked Jason, I simply do not understand from a regular casual fan the point of having guys in your lineup that are batting under 200 consistently. And then they give you an excuse about why they're not bringing him up. Like he's sore sometimes. Okay, well, don't play him every day here, but at least have him here if that's what you want to do. Can you explain to the general people out there what's going on with their prospect evaluation and why are they so resistant of playing these guys?
If we're just speaking about DeLauder specifically, it's it could be construed as somewhat noble. This is a very player-centric approach to his development than it is to the team, because they are concerned about playing him, and they want the flexibility to be able to sit him when they can because of soreness and all the injury history, that kind of thing. So, I guess you can sit there and talk yourself into, maybe not, maybe I can, talk yourself into doing what's best for the player, because what's best for the player is, best for his long-term, and maybe that's best for the organization long-term. But, yeah, I think he's not going to play up here every day anyway. You're not going to play him against lefties. You can't control when you're going to see a lefty, but he's not going to play every day up here anyway. And right now, their roster is just so poorly balanced. You have David Fry, who can only DH and play against lefties, and he's barely hitting right now. I know he had a home run in Houston, but that was also only a home run in Houston, so he's struggling. Jonathan Rodriguez, you could send him down for DeLauder, but guess what? Jonathan Rodriguez plays once a week. So are you really opening up bats for DeLauder by doing that way? You're really not. You have to make a significant roster switch to bring him up. And I think they should. I think he's ready. He's one of their best 26 players. He's one of the best 13 hitters. He's one of their best 3 outfielders. He should be up here, and you've got to start getting these things out of the way sooner than later. But they don't want to make the roster decisions that would come along with that. And I do think part of that's David Fry. You can't have a platoon DH and also have DeLauder on the roster if you want to say, okay, he's only going to play 4 days a week, because then you essentially have 2 guys on your roster that are very limited in what they can do, and that's poor roster construction from what they already have right now.
So frustrating to fans because they hear about these prospects. We talk about them all the time. Most of the lineup stinks, is not getting it done, and then we don't get to see him. It's frustrating. Justin, we appreciate the time, man. Thank you for joining us. We'll talk to you again soon.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate having me on. Hopefully they play better next time.
Yeah, absolutely. Justin Lada from the Locked On Guardians podcast. We'll see if they can carry the momentum. Doubleheader today after they got rained out last night. First game, I believe, at 3:05, and the second game at 8:05. Correct? 3:30 and 8:10. So I was wrong on both times.
Actually, it's been updated even more. According to ESPN, it's at 3:10. So it's a little bit before 3:30.
Right. I said 3:05 and 8:05. It's 3:10 and 8:10. So I was off by 5 minutes.